Okay, at Chelmsford Cathedral, ready to start two of the legs of Cycling UK's Cathedral Challenge. So plan is to ride to St Albans Cathedral and then down to London to St Paul's. Okay, let's go. The first leg of the ride was 48 miles long and went from Chelmsford Cathedral in Essex to St Albans Cathedral in Hertfordshire. The plan was to then take a break at St Albans and grab some lunch before carrying on and riding the 23 miles into London to St Paul's Cathedral. Chelmsford Cathedral is dedicated to St Mary the Virgin, St Peter and St Cede. It started out as a church of St Mary the Virgin and was probably first built along with the town of Chelmsford around 1200 AD. It was rebuilt in the 15th and early 16th centuries. In 1914, the church became the cathedral for the newly created Diocese of Chelmsford. So that's it, we're left Chelmsford behind now. Hopefully the roads are going to be a bit calmer. It's a bit hairy getting outside Chelmsford, but should be okay from now on. Fingers crossed. In English folklore, John Barleycorn is a character who represents the crop of barley harvested each autumn. Equally as important, he symbolises the wonderful drinks which can be made from barley, beer and whiskey, and of course their effect. Love it when it comes to cycleways like this. No cars, few pedestrians, not much driving through trees. Wonderful. This fine gentleman is the Reverend Samuel Stone. He was born in Hartford in 1602 and the co-founder of Hartford, Connecticut in the USA. Okay, so 34 miles done, that's halfway to St Paul's, halfway between Chelmsford Cathedral and St Paul's Cathedral. We've got about another 12 miles to go before I get to St Albans Cathedral. Sometime between there and St Albans, maybe when I get to St Albans, I think it's going to be time for lunch. All going well so far, so let's hope the second half goes as well as the first half. Okay, let's go. Getting close to St Albans now, but I'm not going that way. Instead, I'm going down here, the Auburn Way. The Auburn Way is a trail for cyclists and walkers along a disused section of the Great Northern Railway between the historic towns of St Albans and Hatfield, providing an interesting route through the Hertfordshire countryside. Although I knew the Auburn Way is a disused section of railway, it came as a pleasant surprise to have come across the halt at Niced Hyde. This old ghost station played its part upon the former branch line railway which linked Hatfield to St Albans and opened in 1865. The halt opened in 1910 to serve the growing community in the area. It eventually closed in 1951 due to lack of use, but the line itself dwindled on for freight trains until complete closure in 1968. Like many stations along the 6-mile route, Niced Hyde Halt lay abandoned for many years until local postman Mike Izzard decided to breathe life back into it as he embarked upon an award-winning 4-year restoration project. Well worth a visit if you're in the area. There are other disused platforms along the route, such as this one at Hall End. Much of the architecture of St Albans Cathedral dates from Norman times. It was probably founded in the 8th century. The present building is Norman or Romanesque architecture of the 11th century with Gothic and 19th century additions. It ceased to be an abbey following its dissolution in the 16th century and later became a cathedral in 1877. At 85 metres long, it has the longest nave of any cathedral in England. St Alban himself is venerated as the first recorded British Christian martyr. It was also a great place to stop for lunch. Been a lack of video and pictures since leaving St Albans. The roads were actually incredibly busy, which I guess is to be expected as you're coming into London, but certainly not quiet country lanes. Anyway, so I've now found myself here. So we'll see what lies ahead. Okay, let's go. York Road is a disused station on the London Underground in King's Cross. It opened in 1906 and was one of the original stations on the Great Northern, Piccadilly and Brompton Railway, the precursor to today's Piccadilly line. Traffic levels were never high and the station closed in 1932. St Paul's Cathedral is the seat of the Bishop of London. It is on Ludgate Hill at the highest point of the City of London. Its dedication to Paul the Apostle dates back to the original church on this site, founded in AD 604. The present structure, dated from the late 17th century, was designed in the English Baroque style by Sir Christopher Wren after the original church was destroyed in the Great Fire of London. Okay, there we are, job done. So there's St Paul's Cathedral in the background. Somewhere up there anyway. Right, okay, so it's been a really good ride. It wasn't too bad coming into London. Still prefer the country lanes of Essex and wherever else I go, but it's a ride that has to be done. So now it's time to get home, get a shower and relax with a beer or so. Okay, let's go and let's see what my next adventure takes me to.